Hey, doing a triple feature here, all Eldar and how I magnetize these different guys. Okay, so first we'll start with this guy, the fire prism slash night spinner. So obviously he's going to magnet here in the front where the where his weapons are going to sit, obviously. So you can see in there I've done a bigger flat magnet on the one side and then just a small guy inset on this other one. This one's just sitting flat on top. That guy I drilled in with a Dremel, obviously. And the reason being is that for the night spinner, you have it's really lightweight, easy to magnetize. Just drilled into them, added in a magnet, and they can magnetize in. But with the fire prism, you've got this long, heavy duty weapon here. And so it's got a big old magnet on the end of that so that it just sits on there and holds up. If you don't put a heavy enough magnet on there, then this guy will droop and move, and so you won't be able to hold the same. So I've got that on there, and then of course the other little injector type dealie that hits the crystal with the blast, and however this gun works. And then additionally on him, he's magnetized on the bottom for the two different types of weapon you can carry down there, either the shuriken cannon or the shuriken catapult. Now, with the universal magnet system that I've talked about before, with the upper mount, I did it like this again. The idea being that whatever you're magnetizing to is the base. And in this case, it's a little counterintuitive. This is the base, so it's upside down. So if there were magnets on top of the vehicle, it would be the opposite direction. But in this case, on the bottom of the vehicle, this is what I'm magnetizing to, so it's on the bottom. So here is my shuriken catapult, and obviously it's magnetized so that the weapon is pointing up when your vehicle is right side up, or the shuriken cannon, magnetized either way. So there's the fire prism slash night spinner. Just said the word, almost forgot it. And then here's a wave serpent. Wave serpent has the same dealie on the bottom there for either. Now, again, this is the nice thing. You have your whole collection worth of models, and you're like, bam, I've got a bunch of wave serpents. I got some fire prisms, night spinners, especially with the new book where bringing the heavy support version vehicle chassis are nice and plethora. These are magnetized universally. So I have catapults and cannons so that they can magnetize to any one of the different plethora of vehicles I have, and it's not magnets. The weapons are not specific to a specific vehicle necessarily. Alright, so then the upper mount here. So this is really easy. The spot where you used to have, and I've seen this, a lot of people do this, the spot where you used to have this little extra piece coming out, right? You just chop that off, and then you put your magnet on there, and it's perfect too for these guys because they have a little circular spot there that's meant specifically for sticking on that little tongue there, right? But that thing breaks off all the time. It's awful. Most people, even if they don't magnetize, end up putting in some sort of metal rod and pinning in there. But these are magnetized. Now, they're magnetized for a specific side, right? So this is the right upper way to do it. So, I mean, you could, but again, each side of this is the universal magnet, right? So this way for the universal magnet, this way for the universal magnet, that way. Sorry, my hand was kind of big in there. So in theory, you could be like, okay, I'm going to, this goes on this side, or I'm going to magnetize this side, and it will magnetize just fine, but obviously the gun would be upside down in that case. So these guns, if you had more than one, this project, I have two of these wave serpents. They are magnetized for a specific side, the way that the weapon is supposed to sit right side up, versus upside down, right? So there you go. That's the wave serpent. Next, and lastly, I should say, here is the Crimson Hunter. Now, it's possible with this kit, the Crimson Hunter / Hemlock Jet Fighter, to magnetize for either option. Obviously, you have to. This is totally specifically built to look like the Crimson Hunter. The project called for just Crimson Hunters. But you could, in theory, add in a little bit of each, the different fins and add-ons to make the two look different, so that it could be like, oh, this is a little of both, and then then you could obviously be either one. But when you go to magnetize this guy, and this is especially the case in the top here, in the middle gun, if you do magnetize it, this project didn't call for it, so I didn't magnetize it. It just wanted it to be able to be a Crimson Hunter, and either a regular Crimson Hunter or an Exarch. So the Exarch has the opportunity to switch out from lances to star cannons, I think. And so I just needed to glue the side mount. So if you can tell in both of those there's the magnets in there. Now when you go to magnetize this, when you build them, the kits have these little pieces like this guy. Like this guy right here. Oh, that's a little too close. This is what kind of fits in there, and these fit on one side because the wing is built at an angle and whatnot. So there's these little tabs that when you put the model together, pay attention to the instructions. Otherwise, you put it on the wrong side and have to unglue it and reglue it. And I inevitably do that every time I build this kit. I have to fix at least one of those. So it's got this little kind of keyhole shape that, in theory, you could just plug and push your pieces in without magnetizing them. I never like doing that because I think that over time it tends to break down, and you know, might snap the piece off, versus the magnet just kind of, you know, flips on or off. You know, it doesn't have a problem, right? So here's my little magnetized weapons here. So either here's my star cannon, ta-da, you know, and both of them are the same, or here's my lances. So anyhow, the important thing is that you put this magnet on. You make sure that you glue the piece into the right side, or know which piece goes on which side, and then drill your hole and put your magnet in before you put this together. Because if you don't, you're in for a hell of a time. That magnet is just a super pain in the ass. Like, you could drill this hole, no problem, probably, right? But then getting the magnet in there and making sure it's in there and it stays and whatnot, if you want to have it set in. Now, obviously, you could just try and glue it on top, but then again, it's still a pain in the butt when you've got a small space, and especially on this guy, because that thing is pretty deep in there. My lighting is not good enough to show you that, but like these, in both cases, you're going to want to drill that hole ahead of time. But anyway, that's how you magnetize, or where you specifically set up magnets to magnetize Eldar vehicles. I don't have a Falcon, obviously. I'll do that at some future point. Maybe Falcons will be better in this edition of the book, so people will actually bring them. Not that they were bad in the last edition. They just took up the wrong 4-sword slot, really. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.